Back in 1946, a young U.S. diplomat in Moscow famously gave the State Department a spot-on assessment of the brutish Soviet Union regime, famously known as the Long Telegram. George Kennan warned, "The internal harmony of our society be disrupted, our traditional way of life be destroyed, the international authority of our state be broken if Soviet power is to be secure." Now, as the U.S. faces off against communist China, our next guest asked who will write the next Long Telegram and questions Joe Biden's ability to do it. You know him as the former VA secretary. He's now a Heritage Foundation Visiting Fellow. Robert Wilkie joins us now. Mr. Secretary, thanks so much for being here. Folks know you from being the VA secretary, but you've also been involved in defense and foreign policy matters for a long time. It's a long-forgotten memo, but it was a very important one that totally reoriented the U.S.'s view toward the communist Soviet Union and containment. If you would, share how important that was and then what you think we need with the communist Chinese in comparison.
Well, first of all, Pete, it's good to be with you again.
Of course.
What Kennan did was take the blinders off America. We'd just gone through 5 years of hearing how wonderful Uncle Joe Stalin was. And Kennan was in the belly of the beast in Moscow and sent a warning to the State Department and to the White House that we had better wake up, that this regime not only had designs on Eastern Europe, where its troops were, but it had designs on our allies. And after the allies, it had designs on us. And as a result of that, President Truman, moving aggressively, created the Marshall Plan, the Truman Doctrine, which said we will support all who oppose communism around the world. And just as importantly, created NATO just a few years later in order to cordon off the Soviet Union. Mm-hmm. But the Long Telegram woke up America. It woke up people of the stature of Dean Acheson, the future Secretary of State. And it also helped quiet the left wing of the Democratic Party, which was, for all intents and purposes, apologists for the Soviet Union. Their leader was the former Vice President, Henry Wallace, who was out there saying that the Soviet Union was the future.
And so let's answer that question. Who writes the next Long Telegram? Is it the Biden administration?
Well, sadly,
who can do it?
Yeah. I don't think it will be the Biden administration, Pete. If you realize what happened to our Secretary of State in our own country just a few months ago when he was harangued by the Chinese foreign minister, the Chinese foreign minister quoting Joe Biden's own critique of our country with the woke words of the President of the United States, and the Secretary of State could only respond by saying, "We're imperfect." If you were in that seat, or Richard Nixon or Ronald Reagan were in that seat, you would have said, we're not going to sit here and be lectured by a regime that's murdered 100 million of its own people since 1949. But if you don't like the country, how can you lead it? And we've already seen this president disrupt alliances that we were told Donald Trump was destroying. He's wrecked relations with Israel. The Conservative Party in the UK has turned its back on him, the ruling party there. He's cost the Canadians thousands of jobs. And in your world, Pete, he sent the Secretary of Defense to Asia with his hand stretched out in friendship. At the same time, the other hand was cutting the defense budget.
Yes.
That is a mixed message that is not only mixed, it's dangerous.
Well, now they're in the UK at the G7 soft pedaling any confrontation with China. Let's hope, and maybe it'll be you, maybe it'll be something unforeseen, but that next Long Telegram needs to be written to wake the American people up to the Chinese Communist Party and their ambitions. Robert Wilkie, thanks for triggering that conversation. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Pete. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.